we doing this for the people too. This ain't, you know.
Right. So it's loading, y'all. Just give me like 2 seconds. All right, cool. So we're good to go. We're live.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll kick it off. So what's up, everybody? I'm Coach Kenya. Welcome to Free Throw Fridays. I'm here with Wayno. What's going on, Wayno?
What's going on, Kenya? How you doing?
Good, good. So we got a special guest that we have with us here today. But before we get into that, Wayno, why don't you just tell everybody what Free Throw Fridays is all about and why we're here doing this every single Friday at 6 o'clock.
Right. So free throws was something I started with Instagram Live about like 2017. I would go live every Tuesday and Thursday, and it was basically, you know, to give people insight and answer any questions they have regarding, you know, getting into business or life, etc. You know, so we were doing it a little bit before. A lot of people asked me to do it again, and I couldn't figure it out until now. We're all in the house, so I figured, why not? You know, why not give out that game? Why not engage with the people? And it's become kind of like a mentoring type camp, along with like a networking space where, you know, we had somebody in here from South Africa last week. He met a kid from Maine, and they got a chance to talk and probably do their own thing. So it's all about just building people. You know, that's what it's for.
Yeah, and I know that you're a big advocate of mentorship and giving people advice and being a resource. And what we wanted to do is we thought that it would be a great idea and helpful for people to expand that platform and that advice. So we have with us the one and only Derrick Grace, who's joining us today. How you doing, sir?
Good, I'm good. How about y'all?
Hanging in there. We're hanging in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Derrick, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are for those of you who don't know, and you know what you're out here pumping, because you're pumping some pretty clever things to help people.
Appreciate it. When you first asked that, I had thought about that for a second. I'm like, damn, what title would I give it? What do I be having so much going on? But I'm a #1 selling author. I'm a father. I like to say that one first, even though I just said the second. But I'm a #1 selling author. I'm a father. I came up with a couple pretty cool things. A mantra called Unlearn and Relearn. And from that mantra, I wrote not a bunch, but I wrote like 8 or 9 educational curriculums. I've been doing that since 2015, 2016. I became a #1 selling author in 2016. I released my first book 2015, didn't do too well, but my second one did extremely well. Since then, I branched out in terms of just trying to jump into multiple lanes, open multiple businesses, reinvest in what I make, pouring into other fields. That led me to making board games. And this fall, I'm releasing a video game on PS5, Xbox, and PC.
Wow. That's amazing.
I'm just like a dad that be doing business. That's the best way to put it.
You're so modest. You're doing a lot of wonderful things. And I have your board game. So tell us a little bit more about the board game and how you're using that as an educational piece to teach people.
Got you. So one of the biggest things I've noticed about our culture over the years is we love entertainment, right? So the in-home banking concept started in 2017, and I was basically teaching people how they could emulate the monetary systems, but do it in an integral way and put their families first rather than, because if you pull your average banker right now, their children's college is either paid for or on the road to being paid for. We still be trying to figure out how to buy school uniforms come August. So I was basically just trying to teach people how to emulate those systems, do it in an integral way, and keep the money at one table. And I started with courses in 2017. Those were very successful in terms of attendance, but like at the end of each course, we would go over homework. And I realized like one year I had 2,700 people in the course, and a whole 53 of them did their homework. And then I realized at that point, I'm like, damn, they here, but I'm still not getting through. I'm gonna be real. I think most of them just came to my Zoom classes just to hang out, because that's literally, on Zoom, you can see what people doing. Like they used to be doing everything except listening to me. They having low key having parties, they having a good time. So I appreciated the support, but I still trying to figure out how to get through to them. So I remember October 2018. I was chilling in my black room. That's where I'm at right now, just having different downloads, great thoughts in my zone. I was taking some of my medicine, and a bright idea just came to me to turn into a board game. And I hit a couple of people. it didn't go as planned in the beginning, but eventually I ended up connecting with some people in China. They start mass producing the board games. And then from there, I started thinking again, how can I infiltrate the homes of our culture again? And I was like, it's a no-brainer. Especially after seeing the success of Fortnite and skins and all that good stuff. I was like, yeah, I definitely got to go over there and get some of that money and sprinkle our culture all over that world too. So
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I
That's
hit my
amazing.
project manager and I was like, hey, let's turn it into a video game. And we've been working on that since last November.
You know what? That's amazing. I mean, even for myself, you know, Kenya, me and Derrick actually met before, and it was crazy how we met because I had seen him go viral a few times for something, and I forgot exactly what it was that he was saying, but it was something that stuck out to me. And him being a dad and me being a dad, we kind of connected. So I was in Harlem one day, you know what I mean, me and my lady riding around, and I seen him, and I was like, yo, I was like, you gotta pull over, I gotta jump out and talk to this brother. You know what I mean? So I got out the car, I run over to talk to him, and ironically he was with a brother that I known for like 20 years, my man Gotti. You
Yeah.
know, so it was awesome to just connect. And then me and Derrick have built our own, you know, we don't speak all the time, but we have a nice cordial relationship where we always like he always if I got something I want to know, I can always ask him. You know, and that's why we built this platform, Derrick, you know, so that people could come in and ask questions about what it is you do, or they can get the information directly from you as opposed to wondering and Googling all the time.
Right, right.
Yeah, for sure. And just so quickly before we get into the questions, so you have courses going on right now too, because I see your stuff
Oh, yeah, yeah.
all over Instagram. So tell me about those courses and then tell us about the post-Trump pack.
All right, so I'm gonna start with the pack first because the pack leads to the course. So basically, right, I'm not a fan of his whatsoever. I don't really care for politics, but I am a fan of the way in which he carries himself, and he's been able to infiltrate the corporation of America and make certain things happen for him and his partners. I'm gonna be real. To me, he's kind of like what every gangster movie taught us to do. He kind of embodies that in a real life type of way. So I'm not in agreement with most of the things he say. But one of the things I did identify early on when I started buying his books and studying him was that I don't really feel like he's racist. I feel like he's classist. I feel like he prefers to deal with people who have a lot of money, and he just, not saying it's morally correct, but he just don't give a damn about people who don't. So basically, like what I'm teaching people with the post-Trump course and the pack is just to study the wolves, emulate their moves. But again, the same thing with home banking, just keep it integral. So I mean, I'm not encouraging nobody to go even commit crimes to be in this position in the first place. But to me, it's advantageous to study the mindset of somebody who gets in a position of power like that, and they just they go free their dogs from jail, as our culture would say. They will stand. He will stand up on the stand and tell a bold faced lie and laugh and know he lying and just walk off like, yeah, I lied. It ain't nothing. I mean, even like I see some of the bills. Like I remember when the pandemic was first taking place, the pandemic, and they was like they're gonna get the funding, and he tried to put him and his homie in charge of the funding before it hit the hands of the American people. And I was like, bro is like evilly ain't a word, but he's just like evilly genius. Like he a creep, but he got the best intentions for his people. So like what I tell a lot of people, like I don't think people actually hate capitalism. I think they just don't know how to perform capitalism. So a lot of times things they don't understand, they just shun it. So basically what I did was created a collection of all my bodies of work from co-parenting, in-home banking volume 1, volume 2, business, gun education, and I just compiled them and I call it the post-Trump pack. And the whole play on words was number one, I'm big on marketing. So I was like, you know what, it's election year. And I've seen this dude like I've seen him play games on Twitter in terms of reactions, and it worked perfectly. Like people play right into his hands. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna create a body of work. I'm gonna put post on it, but I'm gonna call it a post-Trump pack. And why wouldn't it ring bells? It's re-election year. He on Twitter turning up. Then next thing you know, we have a pandemic. He on the TV screen every day. And then that synergy alone with the pack, the course, and him being, doing the clown stuff on the internet, it just worked out perfect for me. And then also the reason I call it post because I tell people like they're better being prepared than scared. And so many people find themselves in a stagnant place because when they meet adversity, like I took at a time like they like the trauma bond. So when I say bonding and trauma, you'll see more comments on the post complaining about him rather than somebody saying, hey, well, look, this how we could flip one of them laws he just passed and make it work in our favor. So the whole post-Trump part of it was just me telling people like, look, once y'all get done being scared of the bullshit he talking about, these are the plays we could actually put in motion, you know, to take full advantage of what it is that he's doing.
Well, it's pretty brilliantly said, I got to say. And I know we got a lot of questions in here, and we want to kind of keep that dialogue going. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing this too. Wayno really wants to help people have a platform of expression and be able to prepare themselves, because we don't know what's going to happen when this whole quarantine thing is going to be over with. And the best thing you could be doing is getting all the information you can to make sure you're
prepare
ready.
yourself. Yeah, for real. Prepare yourself.
For sure. All right, so I'm going to open up the floor for some questions. I'm going to start with you, Azim. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and give us your handle and your question.
So my handle on IG and Twitter is at AzimK_, AZEEMK_. First off, Derrick, that's super impressive. We got to talk offline. I'm in the gaming industry.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm the director of growth for a mobile game that's like Pokemon Go meets sneakers. And so
that's crazy. I'm launching a project with my children where they're gonna be like half animal, half superhero, and it's gonna have that same type of vibe as Pokemon. But nah, bro, that's crazy that you even mentioned that.
Yeah, the second you started saying you in gaming, I was like, oh, we definitely got to talk. So, and even my question, I mean, I've spoken to Wayno about this a little bit, having been in the music industry and what I'm doing with this game right now. I want to connect with some artists, because naturally there's a lot of people who are sneakerheads and cool things we could do.
Right.
But even after having been in the industry, my question was basically, if I'm trying to get in touch with an artist, should I be hitting up the publicist, trying to figure out who the manager is, or should I be trying to message the artist themselves directly? Because I've found, depending on who I'm talking to, it's a mess where there's no actual answer.
No, bro, you ain't lying about that. I've dealt with that too, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a really antisocial person. So anytime that most times that I've reached out to other artists or entertainers, like now, if we had a person, okay, so bro, so I've had a question for Mano before, and I hit him directly in the DM, because like we've developed, you know, like the bond that we have developed is one that I feel comfortable enough to hit bro direct, and he responds. So he shows me through example that I could be comfortable with shooting the DM, because bro gonna get back to me sooner or later. But bro, honestly, I would just play it by ear in terms of if you have a relationship with this person, or if you have a relationship with somebody that got one with this person. But more times than not, bro, I know I usually just send somebody from my side, and we took the normal route of just going through their emails or going through their PR or their manager direct and lining it up that way. Like, one thing I'm big on is just in terms of professionalism and like value. People that I value, I never want to give them the notion that I don't value them. So for me, like, I understand how busy people are because I'm one of the busy people. So for me, bro, I try to make the lines of communication as smooth and as like non-pushy as possible, even though I'm trying to execute something. So like, prime example, bro, like for my birthday, my 30th birthday, I booked my song, I booked Wallow, I booked David Banner, and I booked Nip. And bro, all those transactions were relatively smooth, even though like I personally know each of them. Well, no, me and my song had met. Yeah, we politicked on the internet, but bro, even then, I still just try to present it in a way like, because a lot of times, bro, people may take it as you trying to connect to them personally because like you know you able to. Like I'm trying to think what easy way to say, bro. Like I have people that are basically just try to utilize me because they know like I'm cool and they can do it. But I can respect them on a whole different level when they meet me. Like, hey, you know you my bro, but I'm finna hit you about some business. So let's handle this business, and then we can have them bro vibes and that bro conversation. So me, bro, I honestly just play it by ear depending on who I'm hitting up. But more times than not, I take the traditional route of going through their manager and their PR because I'm not a big talker. Like, bro, I don't get me wrong, I talk for a living, but just like, hey man, what's up with you? Acting like I care how your life been lately just to ask for a favor. Not saying you asking for favors, but
I feel you.
Ask for a favor, whatever. Like, I ain't good with that. I'm super dry, bro. I've been like, yeah, so I'm trying to book you, bro. You free or what? Because I'm busy too. I ain't got time to be chasing that. So that's typically how I do it, bro.
Yeah, and just to add to his point, Azim, I would think I would go more along the lines of just presentation. You know, that's the biggest thing. I mean, you know, while like myself, I talk for a living as well. It's like sometimes I don't really want to talk, you know, but if how it's presented to me is always what may get me. You know, it doesn't always have to be you know, how's the kids, how's the family? You know, that's one aspect of life. But there's so many other things that's going on that you can use to create a conversation. And I think it's also to who you're trying to get at. So we know the artists, like we know how artists are, right? Most artists aren't the most competent guys you want to have conversations with, you know, and I say it's a very small percentage of them that are. So if you're gonna deal with somebody that you may need to use, like get out the manager, but do a little bit of homework on them so that you can see who you're dealing with prior to getting there.
That makes sense.
And then, bro, one other thing I would share is like I've seen in the industry too. When you bring value to the table, your responses are different. So, bro, I'm gonna tell you, like, it was a no-brainer. I met Kenya one time, bro. I met Wayno, and we talked other times. But, bro, I'm gonna tell you, like, I'd be more excited to politic with people who I actually have met, and like, yeah, they dope humans, not just like, oh, they famous or. But I know for me, bro, like the personal vibes I got from both of them when I met them, when they hit me, was just like, hell yeah, I'm coming. I'll be there.
Right.
Thank you. Same.
Thank
The
you, man.
feeling is
Appreciate that.
mutual.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Yeah, so thank you, Azim. We appreciate your comment. Please stick around. You know, we want to keep everybody a part of the conversation. I'll just ask that you mute yourself, and then I'm going to move to the young lady to your right. I'm so glad to see another female in here. I was telling Wayno the other day, we got to get some more females.
Yeah,
So
get the ladies in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching this for some time now. So my name is Koei. I go by Koei Productions because when I first started, I used to do videos. So I started off doing videos. I did a web series, and then I went on to doing like a talk show, kind of like Everyday Struggle. Right, that was my inspiration when I made the talk show. So it's me and another girl, and there's two guys, and we talk about like hip hop, and we rate artists and all that type of stuff. So my question really was, when do you like when did you feel like you found your niche? Because like I said, I started out at videography. I started making flyers. I learned how to do press kits. I was working with artists. So I'm really just trying to figure out like what should I focus on? Because yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I should focus on because everybody likes everything that I do, but I don't know like what's gonna get me to where I need to go, if that makes sense.
I got you. Well, one thing I like to focus on, I tell everybody this, right? For 3 to 7 days, try self-assessing. Because my personal opinion, most people are already genuinely doing what they like. They just haven't figured out that's what they really good at and they like, and they don't know how to monetize it. So like for me personally, I got to a point where I'm like, damn, I'm troubleshooting all y'all problems. I know a great deal of information. Like, y'all might want to book a consultation. Y'all might want to pay me for this. Or I realized early on as a child, I like to write. Like my mother was a teacher and she always was big on like the way we articulate ourselves and the way we express ourselves. So reading and English was the only thing I excelled in, honestly, in school. Everything else, I either didn't care or like math, I never was good at. I always failed those type of things. Number two, I would say outside of assessing yourself to see what you genuinely, because, well, let me go back to number one. When you do assess yourself, and when I mean like if you could fast, right? And that's depending on your schedule and your lifestyle, but a lot of people don't know, like if you're able to quiet out the noise of the world, you'll have a hell of a conversation with yourself. And on the real, like most people already doing subconsciously what they like to do. So that's number one. But to number two, also in terms of figuring out what it is you like to do, or like you said, taking it to that next level. I tell everybody, like whether it be a business, a service, a product, whatever the case is, marketing and allocate. Well, number one, creating a marketing strategy. Number two, deciding how many funds can you allocate to marketing. Because like this is the beautiful, and I mean it's like the gift and the curse of the pandemic, right? The internet was already, to me, the best means of communication and travel because you have the ability to be in somebody front yard, bedroom, whatever, with the press of a button. But what took place with the pandemic, with it forcing a lot of people to go inside, is that the internet became like 5 o'clock traffic. So the internet even more turned up. Like if you look at how many people on live every day, you'll start to notice like the traction for live is going crazy. So many people are stuck in the crib right now. So marketing to me is more important than ever right now because you have to figure out what's going to differentiate your movement, your brand, and what you bring to the table from everybody else. So like in terms of whatever the vision is, I would tell you to start identifying. I mean, of course, what demographic you're shooting for, and what's going to differentiate your movement from everybody else's. Because a lot of people start a business or a movement or whatever the case may be, in their terms of exposure, they're just blindly posting on social media every day, hoping it hooks somebody and they get what they get. But to me, like when you come in there with a strategy and you know what moves them. Okay, so like I can give you a better example, right? I'm in the literature world, and most people will put me in the same realm as like other African Americans who speak and teach. Okay, cool. But one of the biggest things I like to focus on is I tell people I function off results. And I feel like, I mean, just like the music industry, a lot of people say great things on record, but they really can't show you their results. They really can't show you
That
receipts. Like, yeah, you feel me? So that's why I hang my hat on the fact that like I got tangible results and intangible. I could show y'all thousands of people who like, yeah, bro taught me this and he helped me with this. Or I could show you down to physical results. I could put a gun in my daughter's hand and she'll show you like you can't make this up that you got a blindfold on and you know what's in your hand. You know how to break 6 guns down under a minute, put them back together. So for me, I would tell you to do the same thing in terms of your movement is figure out what differentiates your brand from everybody else. And then secondly, decide how many funds you can allocate towards marketing because like I said, I'm not hating on nobody at all, but a lot of like people with t-shirt businesses, it's oversaturated. So at some point you're gonna have to figure out where can you fit in that's gonna make your t-shirt brand stand out amongst the other gazillion that's currently on the internet.
So I was gonna say like on my show, like the way we stand out is that we do games. Like so we might have like 3 artists or whatever, and then we have people like rate them and stuff like that. But the artists be getting upset with us because of their grades. But it's just like I'm trying to like figure out how to make peace with everybody.
Well, the thing is that I think to have success and I can say this as a media personality, don't worry about making peace with people. Your honesty is what's gonna build your integrity, you know. Right. And somebody told me this, this guy named Sheed, he told me this when I was 19. He told me always plan your work and work your plan. And I've always like stood by that analogy. And it just put me in a place about, you know, a lot of people say they want to start something and they don't want to get to the finish line. Everybody always says, oh, you A, B through C. No, it's A through Z. So it's like, you know, if you're going to take yourself through that alphabet, you got to understand that you're going to go through a lot of emotions. Every time you want to start something, people, oh, I'm sorry, y'all, my camera's bugging out. When people talk to you about, you know, starting something up, they never talk to you about the part of failure. You know, there's going to be tons of instances. I tell this to my children all the time. Whenever they beef in the house and they get mad at each other, I say, yo, y'all only 18 to 12 or 8. Y'all got a lot of disappointment to look forward to. You know, and that's what builds our tough skin. So I would say, you know, finding your niche is basically like Derrick says, like, you know, self-assessment. You know, take the time to look at, you know, the things that are working versus what isn't. It might be things that you might feel is like the best idea for one of your games or for your game show. And while it might be dope to you, it might not be getting a reaction to the people, you know. So start just self-assessment. I agree with Derrick. Like, you know what I mean? Self-assessment, plan your work your plan, write things down and set your goals. One thing about me, I've always found success with anything I've ever tried to do, I've saw it out to the end. Even if I didn't achieve, like I might have not, like I had a clothing line too, like, you know, so that spoke to me as well. Like I had a clothing line and I took a business class, I did all these things. And while I might have not, like I didn't become Supreme or Diamond Supply, any of these guys, I sorted out all the way to the end. I did product placement. I did a website. I did everything. I figured out so many other skills just by doing that my failure in that was just a test for me to do stuff later on.
Yeah, it was just a learning experience.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what's the name of your show? What's the name of your show and where can we find your show and follow it?
Okay, so it's called Talk of the Town Show. So yeah, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram now. Actually, we did one of Wayno artist, Jack Zay, and he won, so he was jacking us.
Dope.
And yeah, so we on YouTube right now. We on Instagram. All our games are played on Instagram though. So we just have people vote in our story, and then we show our results like that.
Dope.
We wish you well with that. Right.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And thank you.
And you might need to get Derrick packed so you can tap in on the marketing side. You know what I mean? You can learn a few things.
Because like I want to write a book like on my journey, but like I want to make it so where like it's kind of like a how-to book to help people too. Because people always ask me for help, so I want to help people too.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Good. Well, thank you for coming and sharing your question. And make sure everybody goes and follows her page and supports her show. And we're going to keep it moving. You can stick around if you want. I'll just ask you to mute yourself and then I'm going to go to the next person. Kelso? Is it Kelso?
Yeah, it's Kelso. Can you hear me?
Yes, what's going on?
All right, not much. What about y'all? Y'all good?
We're
good,
good.
bro.
We're
As we
here,
gonna
man.
be.
That's all we could
Right.
ask for.
My question is, in such a saturated market, it's a basic question, by the way. In such a saturated market, how do you go about building a buzz? Because at some point, social media just feels like there's so many people there. Like that's all social media is. It's girls posing in provocative poses. It's rappers and it's motivation. That's all social media is. So how do you go about building a buzz? It feels so redundant. Like it doesn't feel like there's anything you can do in the social media realm.
Are you an artist? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm an artist.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, my social media handle is Kelso Presley, just the name.
Gotcha.
I got you, bro. So look, for me, I mean, bro, that's definitely sound like a marketing question, but I'm gonna try to sum it up, bro, because I love marketing. I can talk about marketing all day. All right, bro, it's 3 realms that I focus on in marketing: information, shock value, and replay value. Right. So I'm gonna give you an example of how I function. Basically, bro. So like, if you ever have seen one, or if you go see one after we do this Zoom call, with my daughter, bro, when she does a gun video, everything is strategically placed and it's all intentional, right? So the shock value is that you're gonna see her with a blindfold on break down a Glock in like 8 seconds. The information part, bro, is gonna be the part where she begins to speak and she's gonna teach people some things and they're gonna be like, damn, I didn't know that. Or shit, she 8 years old kicking that. And then, bro, the replay value is the hair. The fact that I don't see people don't. This is the part people be missing, bro. She be in the dress and heels with her hair done, but she got a gun the size of her forearm in her hand, but she kicking information that's actually pertinent to our lives. So, bro, for me, those are the 3 variables that I focus on when I'm putting out information, especially when I want to draw the line in the sand and separate myself from everything else that's going on. So, like, bro, when I say replay value, I mean put out the type of content that's so like, bro, whether it be positive, negative, or controversial, it's gonna make people watch it more than once. They gonna stop whatever they doing, tap their homegirl and be like, girl, you gotta see this shit right now. Bro, when I say shock value, you're gonna have people gonna be like, is that a fucking gun? Bro, they literally gonna slow their car down as they passing through a green light, gonna be like, that's not no real gun. And who is that crazy looking ass man with all them chains on and this and that and the third? And then, bro, the information aspect is more so the positive side, because you're gonna have a parent who's gonna see that and be like, damn, she gonna call something that, Jason, bring your ass in this room. See, this why I be on your ass about going to school, because this what I want you to do in XYZ. So, bro, number one is determining, well, I think number one to me is determining what demographic are you trying to capture. And number two, bro, you got to ask yourself, like, is your level of artistry additive to their life? Or maybe it's just something temporary. Maybe you just want them to have fun. And bro, I think a lot of times with artistry, artists, creators, entrepreneurs, whatever the case is, they really don't stop to assess what it is, what type of value they want to bring to people's lives. Like, am I trying to show you a good time? I'm trying to teach you something, whatever the case is. And then too, bro, and one more thing is, even when people are marketing or they try to fit some controversy in it, because I see this with a lot of artists, and like he was mentioning, all these fine ass women that's on social media, which I am appreciative of. Like I be on their pages too, so I ain't doing no hate. I don't want none of them to see this and think, yeah, you fine as hell. Keep posting, stay on the gram, stay active. But bro, even with artistry and women, a lot of times we can okay, bro, the best example I can give you, right, is I know women who have businesses, but they accidentally over sexualize their approach at times. So what happened is, yes, sis, we know you got a product that you selling, but you over sexualize it to the point where, baby, I forgot about your product. I'm just thinking about, should I slide in a DM? So, bro, I think even artists, some of them go so hard with the kill them up, bang, bang. And I'm not saying the shoot, bro, but some of them go so hard with the kill them up, bang, bang shit. We'd be like, bro, all right, goddamn, we know y'all got guns. Are y'all gonna rap or not? Or, bro, we know you got a bag, but could you at least have allocated 1,000 of that to make a decent video? Because, bro, I'm from Tampa. No disrespect to my city, bro, but my city will put $100,000 in cash in the video and then shoot it on an iPhone. You feel me? So I think, bro, like Mano was saying, the young lady before. I mean, I'm talking about Mano, Wayno, wrong trip.
It's so
Like
good, bro.
Wayno, like Wayno was saying before you, bro. The presentation to me, bro, is everything, and I feel like that's what's gonna differentiate you. Like, if you look at some of your marquee artists who are able to literally drop in the middle of the night and not even mention it and still do numbers, they have a strategic way in which they approach the game. Like you got some artists who do a whole lot and stand out, and then you got some artists who able to do a whole lot of little, but they deliver in terms of their substance, their content, and their music. So I think, bro, firstly, you would have to identify what is it that like in terms of your music, what is it that you even bringing to people? And then once you identify that, ask yourself, is that even a supportive demographic? Because like, bro, a lot of people who be shaking that ass and playing them songs, they're not really gonna stream your shit a gazillion times. They definitely not gonna buy no physical albums. They're not gonna show up to a gang of shows. So I think like, bro, I deal with that too. Like, cause I could do too much with the guns in one video and they totally gonna forget the information. Like, bro, and something else, one more thing I wanna share. And to the young lady too, y'all got to make sure y'all have a call to action. Call to action meaning once you present somebody with this, what is it you want them to do? Man, the attention span, I can't stress y'all enough. The attention span of the consumer in 2020 is so low. Technology is so high and so fast. Like, bro, you could have the hardest song out and I could scroll two thumbs, bro. And I'm seeing this fine ass woman. Now I'm finna go on her page and be on here for 30 minutes. Totally forgot what you was rapping about. So, bro, a call to action is extremely important. Like, if you ever see me post a video, I'm gonna tell you in the video verbally, hey, click the link in the bio. Be sure to sign up for the post-Trump course. Then I'm gonna put it in words again on the bottom of the video. Then I'm gonna jump back in my caption and tell you again, bro, click the link in the bio. Cause I know, bro, I know you done seen the people. Somebody tell them exactly what to do, and they be like, hey, so where I buy your shoes at?
Right.
Man, I just look dead at your ass and tell you where to buy the shoes. So, bro, I would say work on developing and assessing what demographic you want to capture, what it is you could bring to them that somebody else can't bring to them, or you could be an additive. And bro, also make sure that you're giving them a call to action because, bro, you could be the dopest artist in the world, but if people really don't know what to do besides consume your music for 60 seconds before the Instagram video cut off, that's all they're gonna do, bro. They're gonna watch it, maybe click it, and go about their business.
Do y'all think that there's a way to do this without social media at all? Like, is that even an option?
I think it is, but it kind of like everything that Derrick is saying is all rooted in something I would like to call creating a category. A lot of these people or a lot of the artists, like you said, like the ones that can drop and do stuff, at any point in time, they've created categories for themselves where while we might compare all of them, they are only the ones who are who they are. So
Right.
That's where your distinction comes in. You know what I mean? That's where the distinction comes in. It's like, okay, if I'm providing, and unfortunately, I'm going to relate this to the streets, and how shit is marketed in the streets. When I grew up in the Bronx and Harlem, and I seen dudes who sold crack, marketed way beyond what the product was worth or way beyond what the product was selling. They would take and say, all right, or even to weed. Think about now in 2020, 10 years ago, people weren't calling weed 10 different things. They weren't like silver haze, purple haze, pink strawberry, Hawaiian haze. You know what I mean? It's all the allure of which you think about it. So you got to kind of apply these things into your music, not necessarily calling your song the craziest thing. But I'll say this, and I hate to have to bring this kid up because I can't stand him. But the 6ix9ine kid, right? You know what made him so compelling? What made him compelling is it's like, okay, here's a Mexican kid who's around a bunch of black kids and everybody has on red flags, but he's the only Mexican. We've never seen that before. Yeah. Then you take that and wrap it around the hair. Then you take that and wrap it around. And I'm not going to get into none of the things that got him in trouble. I'm just talking about, then you take that and wrap it around what he names his songs. He names his songs crazy things like Kuda, BB, or Sissy, or Didi, because it's like, who's going to listen to, like, you know what I mean? It's people looking at like, what am I going to listen to this for? And then they look at it and a package with everything else, and that's what makes them jump in. It's all about the packaging, man. It's all about the packaging. I always tell people how Nike and everybody's watching The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary. Think about how Michael Jordan, a person who didn't even want to be with Nike didn't think that he would become much of anything. They've been selling us the same silhouette of a Jordan 1 since 1985. Do you know how much money they've made by selling us one sneaker? Every time an artist does one really good album and then he makes the next one, they be like, yo, he didn't change the sound. Why isn't he changing the sound? No, They don't have to. You know what I mean? Like the baby don't have to change the sound. You wanna know why? Because he's having success with that. And and I'll say beyond just hip hop culture, just black people in general, we're very judgmental. You know what I mean? And that's why you got to think about the demo. Like Derrick said, like you got to think about the demo where you're trying to attack, because these are things that's going to factor into how people engage with it is that you're presenting. But the packaging, man, the packaging is everything. You want to know why I bought the same Jordan ones over and over and over? It's because they give me the same sneaker with a new story, a new box, a new sticker, a new, it smells a little different, but it's the same product. They can still get my $200. So just take
Yeah.
some of these things and start applying it to how you create music or how you package your music.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all, for real.
No problem, man. No problem. That's what we're here for.
All right, so we're gonna keep this pushing. Thank you for your question. Thank you for coming on the free throw today. Invader Supreme, you ready?
Yeah. What's up?
What's going on,
bro?
man?
Appreciate y'all for having me on here, man. I'm excited to be on here. I've been waiting for this. I got some good questions. I know they asked a lot of the questions though that I was already like kind of trying to get into.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, but I can kind of add on to that. Oh, first off, I'm Invader Supreme, but I just go by Supreme, podcaster from Atlanta. I'm on Invader Supreme on Instagram _ Invader Supreme _ at the end. I host a YouTube show, a thought-provoking podcast for millennials and Gen Zs to bridge the gap between tribes by learning through one another. So I'm doing like interviews, conversations just with like a wide range of people just to get a wide gauge of perspective. So, my viewers can just see just different perspectives and just get, just to talk about life, whether you're an artist. I've interviewed drill sergeants in the Army. I've interviewed rappers. I've interviewed music producers. But my question is, how do I get like a big guest?
Real quick, that's a chakra mat behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucker clean, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm out in Atlanta.
Yeah, I like that. That's clean. But my bad, bro. Go ahead.
No, my bad. That's all good. Appreciate it. But I'm trying to get a big guest. I mean, like, my question is like, how do I get the big guest? Like, should I like reach out to them like as if I'm trying to book them like an artist? I know it's a little different because of the virus. I can't, like, before I was going to like little meetings, like little podcast meetings, trying to link up with people like through Eventbrite. But like, what's the best way to get somebody to interview that people actually want to see me interview right now?
I got you, bro. So look, let me ask you this first. What, in terms of getting a big guest, what's the end goal for getting a big guest?
I guess to gain more traction, to get like, yeah, I've been doing YouTube. I mean, I've been looking at a lot of YouTubers. They say it take time, like it's a slow grind to get people on there. I only been on there 6 months, but I'm just trying to, get traction as soon as I can get it.
I got you, bro. I mean, I know for me, bro, I just resonate with platforms because, bro, I've done interviews with smaller and bigger platforms, bro. But I know to me, most times, I just resonate with. Hold on 1 second, bro. Babe, can you close the door? You'll close the door. Y'all loud. But I know for me, bro, personally, I resonate with platforms and brands that like share, like morals or principles or things that I'm actually invested in or that I'm actually interested in. So like whether it be small or big, I just find myself gravitating more towards people who share the same values as I. And two, bro, I think also, man, I think also, bro, just your resume and your body of work is something else that draws people in. So if you're able to, create some type of format to where, bro, it could be a simple 1-page PDF to where you're gonna show your numbers, what type of content, what type of interviews you're doing, what type of past guests you had. But to me, bro, like results are non-debatable. And I think if you can present those in a way that it could be advantageous for the person, then for sure, like, bro, I think anybody will do an interview with you. But one question I do have, like, when you say big, bro, like what level of big are you speaking? Are you talking about like a artist or a creator, entrepreneur? Like when you say big specifically, what type of big person are you looking for?
I guess somebody already with a following, where people already tuning into them.
I got you, bro. So look, like what routes have you taken so far, or you haven't tried yet?
But I said before the virus, I was going to like Eventbrite things. I've hit people up on Instagram. I did, like, I am in Atlanta. I have done an interview with like some local artists, indie artists, but that was pretty much it.
I got you. So yeah,
Can I? You want? Go ahead. I was going to chime in, but go ahead, finish up.
Oh no, bro. I just had one last thing to ask. So, in terms of big, you want like a musical artist that's big, basically.
Either a musical artist or like a book author, like anybody, somebody interesting who I can pick their brain.
I got you, bro. Because like my personal opinion, bro, you in a melting pot of big. Like it's a lot of big people that's either in your city or they frequent your city, bro. So, I think too, like I mean, you may want to position yourself to like you were saying with Eventbrite, and I get it with the pandemic, but following that, bro, definitely. It sounded like you was doing that already, but positioning yourself to be in the same rooms as these individuals, bro. And again, that presentation gonna be everything, bro. Because I've had people who've had great platforms, but I ain't necessarily like their presentation or the way they pulled up on us. I was just like, oh, we straight. But then,
Right.
bro, I've had people who like simply, bro, he's just a vegan chef and he trying to get his business off the ground and he need that proper plug. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm fucking with you. Good vibes, good energy. Yeah, for sure. I'm pulling up. I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna add, honestly, I was gonna tell you that you don't necessarily need like a big like cosign. What you need is just to have like compelling conversation. Cause like I watch Joe Rogan a lot, and
Yeah.
90% of the people that's on Joe Rogan I've never heard of in my life. You know what I mean? Like I've never heard of them. When I go to their Instagram, if we talking about Instagrams being lit or having more attention, I'll be having way more traction than a lot of people that be on Joe Rogan. But he'll put them on that platform because they're able to have such a great conversation. So I think while I understand why you want to have like people with names, because if they share it, it might bring some light. I think you got to
Yeah.
focus a little bit more. I think you got to focus a little bit more just on the conversation. I mean, from the start, as soon as Derrick saw your background, he knew what you was about. You know what I mean? And knew some
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
stuff
I'm
that you
all
was
about
into.
that
So,
meditation and stuff.
so it that's already showing that, like, I'm gonna, as a matter of fact, Kenya, could you please write down his podcast, because I would love to check it out. But
Oh yeah,
I'm
appreciate
I'm
that.
I'm I'm definitely gonna check it out. But I think that you having conversation that's kind of distinctive, and it kind of goes back to what the previous people were asking before. How do I position myself for my things to go a little bit further, where I'm in a industry, or I'm trying to get into an industry where everything's so saturated. It's creating a category. And I think that, like, for what you got going, like just your viewpoint right now is already eye-catching. I said this to somebody before, T-Mobile, the reason why you only see T-Mobile with that color pink is because they own that color pink. No other corporation can use that color, because psychologically it's one of the most eye-catching colors. So you can see it in the daytime or the night. So you already got like certain things that make you interested a bit. I think that maybe you should spend some ad money to advertise your podcast, as opposed to just investing in, or not investing money, but investing time and just trying to get a name. I think, like, you seem like a very competent brother. You know how to engage in conversation. If you take a little bit of time and put those out a little bit more. Same thing like with Derrick. Before I knew him, or I got a chance to meet him, I just would see random clips of people posting them, not even his own page. I would just see people posting them. So I think, like, just take a little bit of your time and invest in yourself, to get your name
Okay.
out there. And eventually you're gonna have them people knocking on the door trying to get to you.
Okay.
Absolutely. Bro, I
Appreciate
just want
that.
to, bro, be very careful with influencer marketing, bro, because some of these people have built followings off of nonsense. You feel me? And
Right.
you'll try to not infiltrate in a bad way, but you'll try to insert. Like, bro, I'm gonna tell you, like Wayno said, bro, the chakra mat caught me off top, bro. That, I mean, in that design clean as hell, but bro, you'll find yourself politicking with somebody whose core base that actually supports them is not even going to be interested in supporting anything you do, or vice versa. So, bro, just be really careful with that, because I see that every day. People paying certain people for shout outs, and I'm not against it at all. But sometimes, bro, like they get absolutely no traction because bro really made his living off just saying wild shit and doing irresponsible things on social media. But
Right.
now you may feel like that core audience not gonna tap in. They really never been supportive. They just gonna like, comment, and repost it because it's some funny shit and keep it moving.
Right. I'll tell y'all a quick story one time about a jeweler. This was like when I was like 22 years old. I went to a jewelry store, and this guy, I was looking at watches, and he asked me, he said, this guy, I showed him a watch I wanted, and he was like, yo, you should get this. And I'm like, why? Aside from you trying to sell me the watch, he was like, yo, you see this jewelry store? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, yo, when I came to America, all I had was the amount of money for the lease. I didn't really have money to really invest. I had a couple of people that was going to support me once it went. He was like, but I found out that the guy who owned the property was in the Ferraris. So he said, what I did was I pulled up to the, but he was like, the dude was really stern. He's like, I asked one of my friends, could I borrow his Ferrari? And I pulled up to the jewelry store. He's like, when a dude see me in a Ferrari, he automatically, assumed that like I had it to make. He said, honestly, like I was going to be, if things didn't work for me, I was going to be out of business in 3 months. He was like, but he said, me using that Ferrari was my gauge into getting this guy to mess with me. He said to me, he's like, you see that watch? I was like, yeah. He's like, that's your Ferrari. He's like, that watch is going to get you any conversation that you want. So, and what I'm, the reason why I'm saying that is because for me, hearing your story and hearing what you're trying to do, I want your podcast to be your Ferrari. Like you got to apply that same ideology. You know what I'm saying? Like you use that as the biggest thing. Like let's figure out how you build it. You know what I mean? Come back on next week, connect with more people in the chat. Let's figure out how you build it. You know what I mean? Let's figure out how you build it and put yourself in a position where, like I said, man, if I seen Joe Rogan, even for who I am, it's some people who know who I am. He don't know who I am, but I watch his show continuously and I don't care who's on it. I'm just interested in conversation. So I want you to just take the time to just invest in how you create the conversation. That's going to be your Ferrari. That's going to make people pay attention. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's also really quick, and then we'll move on to the next person. So there's also a guerrilla tactic way too, because I've used some ways to connect to people to get on to things that I've worked on. So, networking, finding out who knows who, like if I know, for example, I'll give you a brief story. So I was really, really, really wanting to have RZA on for an interview one time. And there was this event going on and it was just a concert. And I was able to connect with a couple people just to get to the concert. You know what I'm saying? And be networking and talking to a few people. And like my whole intention was not going to an event or going to a concert to be what's connected, to be what's lit, but going there and being purposeful and connecting with people that are there that I know can help me connect to the right people. You know what I mean? So you never know who you're going to meet. And I, like that night that I went there, I was like, I'm not going to leave here until I have an opportunity to have a conversation with him. And it wasn't off the strength of anybody I knew. It wasn't off the strength of being anybody. It was off the strength of me just being real intentional, you know what I'm saying? And kind of paying attention to what's going on and, finding the right opportunity to approach the right person so that they can make the right introduction. And here's the thing, when someone's a good person, they're going to want to help you, right? So he could have been like, nah, I'm not talking to you, but he did not have that approach at all, you know what I mean? And it's going to come forth that conversation is going to happen, hopefully when all this nasty quarantines are. But what I'm saying is, don't be discouraged by thinking you have to have this big platform or thinking everybody has to know you. You know what I mean? It could be just somebody who's a good person who just wants to help you, you know what I'm saying, and support you. I've had that same experience with Derrick. I've had that same experience with Wayno. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that are genuinely good people. Not everybody's going to be like that, but for the most part, people are good and they're willing to help you and they see you're building something positive and they're going to want to sow into you because they know what it feels like to want to have those opportunities as well. So sometimes you could be a little guerrilla with it. I'm not saying all the time, but like opportunity, you should take it and not be aggressive. You're respectful and you respect people's spaces, but you just have to be purposeful sometimes in what you want.
Okay.
It'll happen.
Thank you.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
Yeah.
Can I say something one more time real quick? I'm on Instagram. I'm Invader Supreme with an underscore. On YouTube, Invader Supreme. You just check me out.
And then what's the name of the podcast again?
It's called Invader Talk, but you'll find it underneath my channel on YouTube. It's called Invader Supreme.
Gotcha.
Hey, bro, so it's Invader Supreme then underscore, right?
Yes, on Instagram.
I got you, bro. All right.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we're going to keep it moving to the next person. Jermaine, are you ready? You've been patiently waiting.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Jermaine. Everybody calls me JT. I paint and I do murals and stuff. My main question is, because I've been doing art since I was like 6. Like everything I've done is like self-taught. Like I just recently, like maybe like 2017, just started making like really good money with my art. And I feel like I struggle with, like presenting, I don't know, presenting or like just more so like, because I've been applying to artist residencies because I'm trying to expand out of where I'm from. I'm in Sacramento and I'm trying to expand outside of Sacramento. And people tell me that artist residencies is a good place to go to, like, because you're getting outside of your community. I think that's important when you're an artist. Any type of artist is to connect outside of your community. So my question is like, what's the proper way to submit that? I know you guys talked about presenting is really important, but like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm doing something wrong with submitting my residency applications. I don't know, maybe there's something I can do to improve it, but I've been like really just painting my ass off, like, and
I
like
got
sometimes I feel like kind of just giving up, but then like certain things people say to me make me just like, okay, I'm doing this for a reason. But that's really my main question, like, what can I do to improve in that presentation?
I got you, bro. So in terms of submitting applications for the artist residencies, bro, I'm not educated on that. But in the meantime, until that does take place, this is something I feel like is very important. And I know you can relate, bro, because I can relate to what you're saying. Bro, I'm not an artist, but I do create. I create bodies of work that I feel like I really want them to have, a great deal of longevity. I want them to outlast my personal existence, all that good stuff. So I know what it is to create, and want to do it in a meaningful way. But bro, in terms of like your rituals and routines, do you have any? Do you have certain things that you do before you actually get in your zone to make sure that you
uh,
like properly balancing your
I mean,
energy and you create a space?
like, to be honest, like for me to be creative, like I'm always thinking creatively, but like at the end of the day, like I always have to listen to music when I'm in my mood, and I just start doing it. Like there's no direct way, there's no like routine really. It just comes out. I don't know. It's more of like an emotional feeling that I get when I'm painting. To be honest, I don't know if that's weird, but like it more so just flows, and then whatever comes.
I
So I
got you.
don't really have an agenda really.
My my next question would be, you got any of your art by you?
Yeah. Hold on,
Yeah,
I
bro.
could
Hey,
find one.
bro, I don't know if you can see, bro, but I collect art. Like I actually just got me some new pieces today, but
This is one I'm working on right now. It's a bigger one. But like literally, like my whole room is filled with my art and shit. But it's like kind of getting crowded because me and my girlfriend were in the process of packing the movie and stuff. But
I got you.
this is like some of my
Hey,
stuff. Like,
hey, bro, do you ship? Do you ship?
oh yeah, of course.
All
I
right, so
actually
look
have a
at
website that I sell
that
my stuff through.
that big one behind you. How big is that one?
Uh, this one, I'm not even exactly sure because I just bought it, but I'll have
Got
my
you.
girlfriend measure it, and then I can send the sizes and stuff through the
Is
chat
it
and stuff.
is it for sale?
Yeah, of course it's for sale. I'm an artist for sale.
How
Like to
much?
be honest, like the big ones, the big
Yeah,
ones go from 800 to 1,000, but this one will probably be 1,000 because it's bigger than most of the other ones.
I got you. So look, that one that's exactly behind you. That's the one I want to get, bro. So can you? I'm gonna jump in the chat and I'm gonna send you either send me your cash app or I can send you mine. You can send me a request, bro. But I for sure want that one behind you, bro.
All right,
Awesome.
And then
I could do
secondly,
that.
bro, maybe Wayno or Kenya may know better in terms of the artist residency, y'all, because that one I'm not educated on whatsoever.
I'm actually not educated on that one, but what I can say is look up on IG the compound, the COTHECOMPOUND
Okay.
the compound is ran by my man Set Free Richardson. He's a
Okay.
person who he's gotten me into the art world. Like I always used to see Cause and Hebrew Brantley and all these other brothers, and I didn't really know much about like their world. In the past like 4 or 5 years, I really be getting into it. So you can follow the
Mhm.
compound, and sometimes Set Free does some similar things like myself, and he could possibly give you some information. But definitely check
Okay.
out the compound.
Okay. Yeah, and if everybody like you want to check out my art, my Instagram's name is different than my actual website. My Instagram name is young underscore T82. So I mean I don't really have an exact reason why I named it that. I just thought it was pretty cool at the time. But
Got you.
Bro,
and
you
then
said one more time. What is it?
it's young underscore
Mhm.
T82. So YOUNG underscore T82.
Young T82. All right, I'm gonna check you out too.
Mm-hmm.
Young underscore
Okay, I'm gonna type out. What was the name of the Instagram you told me again? I
The
didn't get that.
compound.
The compound. My girlfriend's gonna let her know.
Underscore. The compound underscore.
The compound underscore. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You think I should just reach out to that person, the individual, just message them?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely check them, like check out what they got going on, and then like he has it's a few people who run the page, but you could definitely reach out and they could get you some information.
Okay.
Your art is pretty dope too, man. I'm checking you out. Your art is pretty dope.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I've done
Hey, bro.
murals and stuff too, so I do murals.
Hey, bro, can I see that one
Awesome.
more time? It's another one on your page I like. I can see that one more time so I can choose which one.
Yeah. Hold on. Flip the camera. You wanted to see the big one again?
Yeah, that big one.
Wait, what did you put? Oh, it's right now. Flip this. Okay. Still in the process of it because I still gotta go on the outlines. If you can see it, kind of looks kind of messy. I gotta go with black around it. So
I got you. Yeah, bro.
Got you.
I dropped my Oh, you know, I'm on your page. I could just DM you now, but yeah, bro. I dropped my cash app in the comments, but I'm finna DM you now and send you my cash app. When you get a chance, just hit me back.
Okay.
So
I can do that.
All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
So Jermaine, you're good. Thanks for coming on, showing us your work. Jermaine's out here, selling art, y'all. Y'all better get with these free throws. Like this is what y'all need to be doing, making us money in this quarantine. That's why we're here, right? So we're gonna keep it going. House of Bartholomew. Are you ready? I see you've been down there sewing and
you've been working the whole time. You've been working.
Yeah, I'm ready and I'm working, baby. You know that I got too much money coming in.
We love it. We love it. So tell us your handle and your question.
All right, so my name is Bartholomew. I run a clothing line called House of Bartholomew. Our Instagram, all our social media is BGold NYC. Our website is BGold NYC. So it's like BGold NYC. And that's what the B stands for, Bartholomew. I'm selling you Bartholomew's gold.
Gotcha. Play on words.
Yeah, play on words. That's why we got the gold B insignia. All of our insignias are 24 karat. It's like I was trying to figure out a way to sell a product that's different than current products on the market. You know what I mean? So I've got all of that. Like I know what separates me. I know, how to build my company as far as I can do it independently. I've got celebrities. I'm selling in 4 countries. Our online ships internationally. So it's like I've gotten to that point, but like this is my question, by the way. So like, what do you think, like advice from, big brothers and like people who do this sort of thing in the industry? Like, what do you think my next step is? It's like, do I need a VC so I can scale up, or is there a way that I can scale up by myself? Like right now, I still own 100% equity. I really don't want to give any away unless I have to. But, like what can I do to, I guess, grow without throwing, $50,000 at Instagram ads? You know what I mean? Like,
right. So I'll just say, just to start it out, I learned something from one of my friends in business before, and he told me that 100% of zero is still zero, right? And not saying that your company isn't worth anything, but it's kind of tough when you're dealing with something like your company is something that you built. It's your baby. It's your name. Right. It's very personal to you. Sometimes we may not recognize when we need help, or when we do need help, we're kind of apprehensive because the thing is so personal to us, right? The thing about business is that business is not personal. So what I'm thinking is like, you got to look at what you've accomplished thus far. You know what I mean? You got to look at what you've accomplished thus far. If you're able, give me 1 second. Yo, Cassia, stop talking. You know what I'm doing. I can hear everything you're saying. All right. Sorry, my son is playing 2K in the living room. You know what I mean? He's on with his friends. But basically, I can't say I've been exactly in your shoes, but there's pros and cons to taking an investor. At one point in time, I had a clothing line and I took on an investor and things didn't pan out the way I thought that they would. But I also feel like I didn't get the education enough to be selling clothes. I looked at selling clothing as just like a means for me to like one day get out the hood, as opposed to that being my passion. You know, for what I see, like you're on live with us whole time since you've been on for an hour and some change. You've been sewing, you've been cutting, you've been doing your work. So I can see that this means something to you. With that being said, don't negate that. Make potentially taking in somebody in, you know, to work with you can help, but just weigh your options. You know what I mean? Just make sure that you weigh your options and keep in mind, like I said, 100% of zero is still zero.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not that I'm opposed to taking on an investor. Like
Right.
I've gotten offers before. They just weren't from the right people. You know, they want too much equity, or they just not someone that can help me. Like a lot of people are just trying to throw money at you. And it's like, I don't want your money and not someone that can actually help me.
A resource, a real resource.
Right. You know what I mean? I'm still stuck with money and trying to figure it out alone. You know what I mean? Like, I want that help. I know that I need a mentor and somebody bigger than me, but like, where do I look for that? Like, where do I find that?
So, bro, for me, I've been an entrepreneur since 2012, but I didn't hire anybody until 2018. That's when I really made enough money to where I could start actually delegating responsibilities. So, bro, number one, I salute you for even understanding that when it's time to scale up, you got to delegate responsibilities. Because, bro, I lost like 170 grand in 2019 on board games with China. Because I was just on that macho shit, like I'm gonna do it on my own.
I'm gonna do it all alone, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, I took a mean ass L. I disappointed a lot of people because they waited forever to get their board game. It was a learning lesson. I definitely wouldn't change it, bro, but I definitely could have did a lot more with 170 grand than, you know, just losing in refunds, chargebacks, and things of that nature.
Exactly.
But, so, bro, number one, salute for even identifying that, because so many of us that create these babies, because that's how I look at them, like they are babies. We get in our own way, you know, trying to Superman and shit, and then when the load get too heavy, we end up crumbling anyway. But, bro, I would say just try to identify with people who share the morals and the representation of your brand. So for me, bro, like not like I have 8 employees in America, and then I have 8 different employees in Spain that's developing my video game. But, bro, in 2 years, we've had to get rid of quite a few people. And a lot of times it was family and all. So I hated to have to do it. But I understood at a certain point, like, we just don't share our long-term vision. Yeah, bro, our long-term vision for the brand is not identical. So the biggest thing that I would say, bro, is just start trying to filter out people. Like, and I ain't gonna lie, bro, like, you really on your square because you're not money driven. Because, bro, that's what a lot of us get caught slipping too. Like, I know me, bro, I meant well when I first hired a lot of my relatives. I just was feeling like, man, I'm finally in a position I could hire y'all. Let's do this shit. And then you realize, bro, you start putting people in positions that don't even genuinely like those positions.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, bro. Bro, and it shows in their work. It shows in their ambition. It shows in their consistency. Like, and bro, I don't know if you ever experienced that feeling, but I have when I had a job. Like, man, y'all pay all right, but I fucking hate it here. Like,
but you know what I mean? Like, you know when somebody don't want to do what they're doing, because you're right. You see it in the development of the product. Like, you see it in the end product.
Absolutely, bro. So I know for me, bro, to be honest, the biggest trait I look for in building a team is I want to work with people who are as crazy as me. And what I mean by that is when I give them my idea, like, okay, bro, so I'm big on artificial intelligence. So I got a robotics company that I got in touch with out of the country, and we're gonna be able to start manufacturing robots and getting them to our culture and teaching our children coding by this summer. But, bro, you need people around you who are not gonna be like, well, wait, but what if? They're gonna be like, well, shit, dude, what button you want me to press? Where I'm running to? Where you gonna throw the ball to, and I'm gonna catch it. So, bro, the biggest piece of advice, bro, is just get people who are in the line with what you represent through your brand morally, and then, bro, get people who actually speak life into your crazy, well, what society would deem your crazy ideas. Or, because, bro, like I say, if you ain't money driven and you ain't jumping on it just for the bag, then I ain't gonna lie, bro, you kind of, my opinion, bro, you kind of got a lot of this shit together. You probably like one step away or one person away from scaling up, killing the game how you want to, because your morals and your thought process is already in order. And bro, your work ethic on point too, because you literally have been working the whole time.
The whole time, right?
We love the multitask.
Well, Barth, man, I hope we could, you know, I'm gonna check out some of your stuff too, man. I hope we was able to help you.
Yeah, check me out. This is what I'm making now. I'm making these masks real quick, you know.
Okay.
I mean, send us some of those.
What's the IG?
It's B Gold NYC, BGOLD NYC. And we do a lot of customs, you know, we do a lot of stuff for Snoop. We do all Lauryn Hill's tour stuff. So it's like I've got celebrities, I've got people, like we getting more into the crowd through ads and stuff. I just want to you know what I mean? I'm ready for it to do more. So I know I need a VC. I just need to figure out how to find the right guy.
Right.
Those masks are great. Where can we get the masks? What's your website?
These masks
same
are
as the
the I like these. These
yeah, you see it. But we got crazier stuff. Like I got patterns. Like I do all my own patterns. Like we've got hoodies, jackets, down to tuxedos. And the website is the same as the IG. It's bgoldnyc.com.
Okay, cool.
I gotta grab something.
All right, cool. So listen, everybody's been waiting, so I want to kind of move this along. So Frank, are you ready? So just unmute yourself. You give us your hands or give us one question and go.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, my name is Frank Grant, based out of Mississippi. The name of my shirt and cap brand is called Lotta Licks Lollipops. And what it is, it's a character brand of lollipops family that I created or whatever and stuff. And they teach like hard life lessons through like family bonds, humor, and things of that nature. And to be honest, a lot of the questions that I wanted to ask, you know, a lot of people have asked them already. So my thing is, I'm still kind of like starting off. I've been doing it for 2 years, but I really haven't like made any revenue or anything like that. But I'm slowly, over the course of the 2 years, I've got me like a team together. I got me a virtual assistant person, someone to help with my social media. I got a producer because I'm like, it's not like what I'm trying to do is I'm working on a comic book, sort of like a manga or a graphic novel or whatever and stuff. I'm doing my shirts and caps, and I'm also doing music for my characters as well. And my thing is, I'm just basically trying to. I don't know how to do like marketing and all this stuff. That's why I got somebody for that. And I'm basically just trying to get some like insight on what should I do next or whatever stuff. I'm trying to work on getting a photographer as well too for my models for my website. And I'm just trying to see like where I go next and stuff. But I know everything is like Derrick was saying earlier. You know, there's an oversaturated market with clothing lines and stuff, and you have to be able to stand out. And it's basically what I'm trying to do right now. You know.
I got you, bro. So, all right, when you say what you want to do next, you mean in terms of the clothing or the comic books or just everything collectively?
Yes, sir. Just everything collectively or whatever and stuff. Because you know, like I said, I've got a small team together and stuff, and they've been helping me out a whole lot, like more. Because my main thing I was trying to do is I'm a graphic designer by trade or whatever stuff, and I was hold on 1 second. Crap, cut this thing up. I was trying to basically do everything myself, and it got to a point where I was like, well, you know, I'm overloading myself, and there's a lot of things I did not know, and I know I didn't know. I was just trying to go about it. And it's basically like going uphill with a lot of stuff strapped to your back. You know what I'm saying? It was just becoming harder for me and stuff. And I was like, well, I need to focus on what I know how to do and get somebody else to help me with this other stuff. So now that I've done it and I've gotten to that point, I'm like, okay, so I got that out of the way. Now I need to focus on, you know, what do I really need to do to get myself out there a little bit more and stuff.
I got you, bro. Well, yeah, bro. Number one, salute to you as well, bro, because so many of us being our own way, bro.
Yeah,
bro. I relate to that so much, and then like, cause I got caught slipping. Right, I scaled up and wasn't ready, and yeah, bro, that's just like we had collected probably like $800,000-900,000 in pre-order money, and the game was supposed to be ready December 20th, and it's like Thanksgiving, and I ain't have no game. So, bro, I know what it's like to be like, yeah, man, I got this shit, and then you look up, and be like, nah, bro, you totally out of control.
Yeah,
but big bro, in terms of the clothing line and the comic book and just branding as like, well, let me ask this, bro, have you identified like what you represent your brand as? Like, I mean, no, the first question I'm asking is like, is the comic book and the clothing intertwined, or these different projects that you're working on?
Well, all of it's intertwined. It's focused on the lollipop family or whatever and stuff. And not only that, like what I've done with my website, and I finally got it up to like how I want it or whatever and stuff. Is like if somebody orders like a certain number of products or certain products, I'm gonna have everything set up. But like I'm gonna send you like a copy of the comic book for free with it, with the packaging or whatever and stuff. And even with the music or whatever and stuff, the music is going to be on my website, and they're like videos, like videos with I guess ads, you know, whatever slash music in there or whatever. So I'm trying to, everything is incorporated together. That much I always have a philosophy on making everything cohesive as a product. If you're gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? Because with everything we having one thing here and one thing there, whatever, you don't make cohesive, it makes it worse. You know what I'm saying? It makes it hard to communicate what you want to do with your stuff or whatever. So yeah, everything basically is.
It's this. I'm in control, bro. My apologies. It's this concept, bro. And you know what? It's funny we here because now that I'm about to say the name of this thing, I know it's gonna resonate with Wayno for sure. But bro, I got this concept I taught in my course called the triangle offense, right?
Right.
So, bro, the way I teach it is at the top of the triangle, you're gonna identify your products and your services, right? So by the time you get to the second chord on the triangle, you're at this point you've already developed your marketing presentation. But on the way from identifying your products or your services, and then bro, you said you have the comic book in the shirt, so both of your items are products in this case. But basically, bro, like you have to create a marketing strategy, and it's multiple ways to do that. So like uh time sensitive strategies always work, bro. When you tell somebody like and bro, you on the right path too. I want to salute you too, because the fact when you was like, if they buy the shirt, they get the comic book on the house. Bro, people love free shit. So the fact like, you know, you could create your price point of the shirt to offset the price of the comic book as is. And then the next thing you know, you offering people this certain item. But it get even realer when you be like, hey, y'all got from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. to make it shake. So one of the other things too, bro, that helped me as an entrepreneur is creating a quota. And bro, I think a lot of people don't really have a quota on what they want to make that day, that week, that month, whatever the case is. So they find themselves just blindly shooting to like, okay, cool, I made enough money to support my quality of life. But to me, bro, when you have an actual quota, you can then develop a goal to meet that quota on a consistent basis. So for me, bro, like I was saying, top of the triangle, products and services. Before we get down to the right side of the triangle, which is the marketing presentation, we got to develop a strategy. We got to decide when we get here. So the fact that you incentivizing people with a free item, bro, you already thinking on that type of time. You already thinking in your head, how can I convert you and how can I make you move right now? So, bro, time sensitive incentives. Um, buy one get one free, or I mean, bro, you could step outside of that and just like say, bro, say you had a weekend to yourself. You literally could get a cameraman and shoot 6 modules on how to even make your own comic book. Next thing you know, bro, you got a whole nother product or service line that you're using to make money, which you could pour back into your situation, whether you want to allocate it for marketing, whatever the case is. So, bro, from the right side to get into that final corner, which is gonna be your third corner, you're gonna have to develop your foundation, and your foundation being, where do I send people to? What means do I use to send them and convert them? So, bro, like whether it be blog posts, whether it be the way you incentivizing free things, like basically, bro, you got to ask yourself, what information can I provide you with during my marketing strategy that creates the level of urgency for you to get to my foundation to buy something in the first place? So for me, bro, I'm gonna be real. Like honestly, bro, you already thinking in that triangle offense type of mindset because you identified your products. You incentivizing people by giving them a free comic book. But just, bro, throw this in there. Like if y'all move from, because I'm gonna tell you something too, bro. Like I have a quota that I like to make every day. I start my day in 24-hour intervals. So when midnight hit, I'm already grinding. So when I wake up, I've already laid certain bricks. When I wake up some days, bro, I've been to met my quota by the time I wake up. So either the rest of that day, I'm gonna utilize to try to maximize my quota and get some extra money, or I'm gonna fall back and sharpen my iron so I can repeat the process at midnight later that day. So bro, I'm gonna tell you, like my personal opinion, you are already on the right path. You probably just gotta sharpen a couple of things, like bro. I would tell you this honestly. I tell everybody this: create 3 formulas to make your product sell, and test those formulas out. And bro, at a certain point, you're gonna identify which formula is the strongest. And like bro was saying earlier, like a lot of us be knowing the way to do it. We just try to change it, or we add complexity to things that don't need complexity. But bro, you're already functioning from somebody that's gonna seal the deal because you identified that people like free shit. You identified that people don't value things, so they no longer gonna have them. So time is on your side, bro. Wait, bro. If you ever follow me, bro, you'll see me post stuff like, "Hey, y'all got 48 hours," and I'm gonna press your line for this 48 hours. But bro, in 48 hours, I've been maxed out my quota so many times that following week, not that I don't need to make no money, but I really didn't need to make no money because I made so much money in them 2 days. The next 7 was a breeze because I maxed out in them too. So, bro, it's a number of ways to do it. But my personal opinion, bro, you already on point. I would say just create like that formula you got where if you buy a shirt, you get a comic book, bro, that's considered a formula. Find 2 other formulas and start testing them. See which one perform the best, and you're gonna know which one gonna take you to that next level. But bro, you got your team in order. You already came to the realization you can't scale up on your own. Salute for that. You already got a formula. You already incentivizing people. You just got to test it out to see which incentive is going to be the golden one. And next thing you know, bro, you going to be not oversaturated, but you're going to be overselling t-shirts, and you're going to have to scale up and get a new team just for packaging because you're not finna package 1,000 t-shirts in one weekend.
Yeah, I feel you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I don't got too much to add, man. He summed it up perfectly, man. Just salute to you, Frank, for real, man. Keep going, brother.
Thank you. Thank
Frank.
you.
So we're gonna keep it going to the gentleman that's next to you, who's got the what you had say, sold not for sale. Mine's not either. You ready?
Yes. Hello?
What's
Yeah,
up,
we
bro?
can hear you.
Okay. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Right.
How's you, bro?
First, I'd like to say, from the Bronx, rest in peace, Fred the Godson. I know a lot of y'all hip hop heads. My handle's world famous Ray Flores on Instagram. My question's for Derrick. First, I'd like to say you're the first person that looks like us, but like somebody I would probably hear on like the Tim Ferriss show. So that's what like caught me marketing wise towards you. So that's how I started following you. And my question really was, what roadblocks you had, like marketing wise, first putting out your book in 2015, and like how did you overcome that?
Oh, bro. Well, number one, I ain't even have a marketing budget, so I was doing what a lot of people do, just posting my book, hoping somebody will buy it. Number two, bro, I didn't identify out the gate that once people have an emotional attachment to whatever you're doing, they're gonna support anything you have, period. So, bro, like a lot of times I was just shooting blindly. And then number three, bro, I mean, I had no type of budget for marketing. So a lot of mine was guerrilla marketing, bro. I would take, like, no lie, right? I got videos of this. I would take excerpts of my book and go like put them in the Walmart section. Or it was sometimes I would take my book and just go stick it in the reading Walmart section. Like, man, I hope somebody picked this shit up on accident and think it's interesting. I'm not gonna lie though, bro. This shit literally never worked one time. But bro, at the gate, I was just doing a lot of guerrilla marketing because I ain't really have no bread. I took like my last, $600 and bought my books. And no lie, bro, in 2 years that book sold like 70 copies. It wasn't until 2016 I went viral. My second book went number one, and then the copies started picking up again. But yeah, bro. I mean, and not saying it's a bad thing, bro, but being an author has long been an oversaturated category. So so yeah, bro, like my biggest obstacle was just being able to allocate the funds to create a marketing budget that could supersede everybody else that was doing the same thing. And then also like just blind, like I'm not gonna say it don't work. Like I really feel like you could catch a body here and there just by not having a strategy and just posting nonstop. But for the most part, to consistently generate income off what you're doing, you're gonna have to have some type of strategy or game plan. And some, I'm not to say it in a negative way, bro, but you gotta have some type of trap that you're working with on a consistent basis that you know people are gonna convert and they're gonna support what you're doing.
Thank you.
But yeah, bro, I struggle like crazy. Like, and then two, I didn't know my demographic either. So I was selling a 700-page book to people who really could care less about reading like the newspaper. You know what I mean? But in my mind, I'm thinking I'm winning because I made this 20. And then you realize, like, you know, you ask people a year later, like, how you like the book? And they like, bro, you know, I ain't read your long ass book. I was just trying to support you. And I was like, I mean, I appreciated temporary support, but shit, work. Hey, bro, they word of mouth after reading the book would have meant more than the $20. It would have brought me way more money. But that also goes with identifying your demographic. Like your homeboy, he gonna support you, but he really probably don't give a damn about nothing he's talking about in his book. And that's what happened to me.
All right, so we're gonna keep it going. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Let's see who we have left. So we have Jay down in the left-hand corner. You can unmute yourself, sir, and give us your handle and your question. And then we have one more person after that, I believe.
All right, cool. I'm gonna try to be quick with my question. First of all, my name is Johnny Boy Deuce. I want to say that I appreciate Wayno and his team for allowing me to be able to come up here and even ask this question. I appreciate all the information from all the different industries within everybody trying to get their questions across. So to me, like for my question, it's kind of like a question that's like been bothering me like a little bit since the pandemic started. So I guess kind of like my question is like I seen where Young Thug and the baby was talking about how they lost money basically like millions of dollars like because they're not able to perform. So my question is kind of like do you think that the pandemic and disastrous effects of the coronavirus have impaired new and unsigned artists and their chances to like come up? Are y'all able to hear me right now?
Yeah, we can.
All right, cool. So, do you think that the pandemic and the disastrous effects of the coronavirus have impaired new and unsigned artists and their chances of coming up? And if not, what do you think that? And this is maybe not just a question for Wayno, but maybe just anybody that has any feedback to help like new and upcoming artists. Like, do you think that it's affected artists in a negative way, like impaired, like them from being able to come up, like just because it's already been like affecting artists of higher stature? Like, do you think it would have an effect on artists who's still trying to come up? And if not, like, what do you think are some things that artists could do, like while not being able to leave home, to be able to still level up?
I say yes and no. I say yes and no. I mean, I'm also an executive, you know what I mean? So like I'm still getting artists sent to me every week that could potentially get signed. It's impaired artists in the sense of like making money through shows, but that's only one way of making money. You know, that's only one way of making money. A lot of artists, you know, and I tell them this. Sometimes I might give artists too much information, but I have no problem with that. It helps me sleep better. Knowing that most artists are only looking for the upfront advance. That's what they're looking for. And for the most part, they don't take that money and reinvest it in themselves. Last week on Free Throws, I was talking about how, you know, it was a point in time when Blueface was saying, telling another artist that buying a chain was investing in yourself. And yeah, that's one form of investing in yourself, but that's not a form that usually makes you a lot of money quickly or immediately. There's so many different ways or so many different things that you can invest in. I think the biggest problem with a lot of our artists or up and coming artists is that they're only thinking about their artistry to pay off. And that's a really tough way to live in this country. You know what I mean? Like that's a really tough way to live in this country. Me, myself, I thought that, you know, for a long time that the only way I could be successful is if I had one good job and I stayed there for 20 years and one day I maybe be able to buy a windshield wiper on a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like I really believe these things, but the more I got older, the more children I had, and the more I wanted to take care of my family and my loved ones, I saw that the only sustainable way of living or making income is to have multiple streams of income, and that doesn't always entwine entertainment. Just because you're an entertainer or want to be an entertainer doesn't mean that that's the only way you can make money. And I think that the reason why so many artists are stagnated is because of that. Now, on the flip side, the way that a lot of artists can still make money is this. Just like we got young brothers on here that's selling their merchandise, selling their art. One of my friends, he goes by the name of Shooter on a gram, Shooter9993. He started out saying, yo, I'm gonna put my album out, but I'm not gonna sell it on DSPs. I'm not gonna go to the streaming services. I'm gonna sell it directly from Cash App. Man, this dude sold maybe 5,000 albums at like $25 a pop. So you could do the math on that. You know what I mean? Independently, like direct to consumer. So, you know, I think that right now you just got to figure out creative ways to build to kind of build your fan base, and like Derrick was saying, take some of that money and flip it into the marketing. That's only going to build you more revenue. But you could take avenues like my man did. You know, he's been successful with it. You know, he wants to try out newer things, but now we see, and I'm not saying that he's that responsible for it, but now Spotify is making something where you can do the donate button. While you're paying $10 for a subscription, you can also say, yo, I listened to this song 10 times today. I love this artist so much. I'm gonna just send them $20 just cause, you know. And if you got 1 billion streams and you could get 10% of the people to do that, you'll get a crazy check. You know what I'm saying? So just take some new precautions or new ways. You know, read some books. Even go on YouTube. Like, everybody might not like to read. You might be able to go on YouTube and get the same type of content that you might have gotten from a book. So, you know, just look at different strategies on how to do it.
Cool. I appreciate that. And I just want to say last thing, since you mentioned reading books. I didn't really know much about you until after I seen you on Everyday Struggle, but then I recognized your voice when I end up, because I do read books. Actually, I read a lot of books, and I read 50 Cent book, From Pieces to Weight, and I recognized you on Audible when you was reading over his, like narrating his book.
That was not me. I wish it was me.
That was you. I swear
that was not me.
That's crazy.
I wish it was me. I'd have got me a nice little check off that, but nah, that's not me, brother. I mean, you know, me and Kenya is my manager, so maybe she could line me up some.
Well, that's the call. I was gonna say, you're
voiceovers.
speaking it into existence for him.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, that might be it. But nah, that wasn't me, brother. But I appreciate that though.
Okay, my fault, yo.
It's all good. It's all good.
But I still appreciate your information that you gave me today too as well.
Man, I appreciate you taking over an hour of your time to spend some time with me and my team and Derrick, you know, coming along. I'd say that before we get off, brother. I appreciate you, D, for coming on here and just speaking with the people, man. This means a lot to me, for real.
Appreciate you,
so
bro.
much. Yeah.
We got 2 more people left.
I think we have one more person left.
Nah,
no, we have Ryan and Devon.
Devon,
So,
yeah, we got 2 people.
We'll go with you. We'll go with you first, and then Ryan will come back to you. Cool. All right, good. Go ahead, Devon. Go.
How you guys doing? You guys can find me Devon Allen on Instagram. I have a podcast, and I'm also an aspiring DJ. I'm teaching myself how to DJ right now. So my question for you guys is, what are some of the things you guys struggle with when you guys first jumped into the music industry? Like, what were some of the hardest struggles for you guys?
For myself, was just like having kind of lack of support from my peers. You know, when I got into the music industry, I was very, very young. You know, I'm 37. I started at 18, you know, and when I got in, first off, I mean, nothing I ever did is conventional. You know what I mean? Like, nothing, I've never taken the path that people tell you is the path that's laid out. Like, you know, you're going to do this way and you're going to get that result. So my start in music was a bit bittersweet. You know, I worked in the mailroom. I was able to help out and get an internship later on. But like, even with that being said, people didn't really believe that I was going to make something happen. But the thing was, I used that as a bit of fuel. You know what I mean? I used that as fuel to kind of like strengthen myself. You know, it's real discouraging for an 18-year-old kid that you trying to figure out life, let alone a career, and people telling you that it's not going to happen. So, you know, for me, I had already been told no by my mother so many times that a person telling me I wouldn't be able to do something meant nothing. You know, I did have that support from my mom though. You know, my mom, you know, music kind of was keeping me, I was delving into the streets a bit, and music kind of took me out of the streets and gave me something to do. So, you know, my mom fully supported me as long as I was sticking to it.
And I would say for me, I'm on the radio side of the music business. It's been a long haul. It's been 15 years. I mean, I started in this business making no money, like $9 an hour with 2 little kids, and struggled for a real long time. But, you know, I mean, I always knew what I wanted to do. So, you know, you take the no's like Wayno was saying, and you turn them into yeses for yourselves. I mean, nobody's going to give you anything, right? I found a lot of times I've had to create my own opportunities. I've been fortunate to run into people who have been willing to help me, which I'm a real pay it forward type of person. So I'm willing to help anybody because I know what it's like to feel overlooked. I know what it's like to not have help, but you also shouldn't let that hold you back. And you just got to keep pushing, especially on the days when it's real hard and it looks like stuff's not happening. I think those are the most important times. Those have been the times that have really helped me tap in like with what's going on within me as a person and really help build tenacity and keep it pushing and keeping it moving forward. And I'm not anywhere where, I want to be. Everything is still is a work in progress. And I'm probably not giving myself enough credit for the things that I've been able to accomplish, but I'm just a real big vision person, and I don't take things for granted. I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I've had so far. And I think the biggest key that I've learned is you got to be willing to help other people if you're going to push and you're going to move forward.
Right.
Got it. Thank you guys so much. For anybody who's wondering, my podcast is called ISD in School Detention. You can find it on YouTube and all 9 podcasting platforms.
Got you. Thank you. We definitely gonna check you out, brother. Keep pushing though, man. Don't I see you at work, you know what I mean? Like you get into it, man. Like you all the motivation you need for real right now. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate you taking the time. For real.
Thank you. I'm trying not to get written up right now, so I'm kind of hitting off.
Hey man, go ahead. You got your question. We sorry we held you up. Go ahead though.
No, you're good. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yeah, you should have told us that first. We would let you go first.
Right. It's all good. Go ahead, man.
All right. See you guys later.
Okay, cool. So listen, we have one more person. I lost everybody moved. So it's like, who do we got? Oh, Ryan, there you are. Ryan, let's go. We're gonna wrap it up with you.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm like him. I'm also at work. I just got off actually. So I'm sitting at my desk, but thank y'all for everything today. I guess my question is, my name's Ryan. My social media handles, Twitter, Instagram, everything is my name, RYAN. M as in Mark, Shepard, SHEPARD, and I'm a writer and I'm a production assistant. But I guess my main focus is writing, and what I've had trouble with over like the last kind of like year or so is kind of marketing my writing. And because a lot of like what media is today is a lot of it's visual, a lot of it's podcasting, a lot of it isn't writing. So it's harder and harder to market it. So I guess my question is like, what advice would you have for somebody that's strength is in writing, but is trying to market their writing to a larger audience?
Me, bro, personally, are you comfortable with being on camera?
I've tried it. I'm not great at it. Like I'm willing to work at it, but I'm not great at it.
Bro, trust me, I feel you. I've been an entrepreneur since 2012, but I didn't show my face till 2016. Out the gate, bro, it was just really odd. Like you talking to a camera and it's not saying shit back, and you just like that. It just feel weird. But I'm gonna tell you 2 things, bro. One of the things that did help, my cameraman, right? He would ask questions, so it would feel like a conversation type piece, but he would not hit record for himself. So he'll ask the question, have me pause for 3 seconds, and then I answer his question. So it felt like a dialogue, so I could naturally just spit back at the camera, and it felt natural. And then secondly, bro, just my piece of advice, man, is moving visuals get 600% more traction than still images do. So 100%, bro, do your best, bro, and try to get in front of that camera and share your skills, because, bro, we just living in an era, especially in the market wave era, like, and trust me, bro, I know your pain because I do literature. People don't like to read, bro, but they buy a lot of reading material from me, but they don't like to read. I don't know, but nah, bro, moving visuals, man, they're gonna get you way more results than still shot. So I would tell you, bro, just keep practicing. And if you need somebody literally to record you and ask you a question before they hit record, or record themselves and just edit it out, bro, that may be the route. So the conversation flows naturally. You have something to focus on, and you not, bro, because I know what it's like just to be looking into that lens and you just see your own face and you like, man, what the hell is this? Like, I'm gonna have an in-depth conversation with myself, but bro, those would be my 2 pointers for sure. But get in front of them, bro, move around, and just remember, bro, the attention span, like, it's beautiful with technology going, bro, but they spoiling us even more. So people don't like to sit still and digest things. They just want some shit that hit them, get it, and keep it moving. So sometimes, bro, you gotta adapt and you gotta meet them where they at on their frequency, feed them how you can, the best way you can, and redirect them to the foundation so they could buy more, support more, whatever they need to do.
I was gonna add, perfectly. Thank you for the segue. I was gonna say the adaptation. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. For y'all who are familiar with me, being on Everyday Struggle, while I might look very confident on there, I really wasn't. You know what I mean? I really wasn't. The show came as like me just going there to do just to do an interview, like just have fun with Nadeska because that's my homegirl, and I end up staying. And my first like when it was I was transitioning to being fully on the show, that first week was terrifying for me, man. Like that first week was really terrifying for me. But what I kept in my mind is like this: if I metaphorically, if I was dropped in the middle of the ocean and I didn't know how to swim, but I needed to survive, my ass got to learn how to swim. And while you might not be comfortable, you might just need to throw yourself in the middle of the ocean. You know what I mean? Like you might need that uncomfortability in order to put yourself exactly where you need to be. And that's kind of what I used for myself, and I see it now because I don't really watch like the show after I film, but I started to see how, as I progressed by being on there, I started to get more confident. I started to get more comfortable. You can see the change from when I first started even in the views as until like when we really started to get into it and I got comfortable. So I just say, man, like, while sometimes you might not be ready for it, it might be the time, you know what I mean? And Ryan, man, like, like Derrick says, redirect them to where the foundation is at. So it might start in one place, but bring them back, you know what I mean? Bring them back, and think, and also, and real quick, and also with your writing, man, like we got to start as creatives, we got to start marketing ourselves the same way rappers do. Like, for real, bro, it's like you even though you're talking, even though we're telling you to get in front of the camera, you might need to take something and say, you know what, I'm just gonna quote myself on a nice like dope image and then put that up on my socials, because and not let it not, it doesn't have to be like a whole 3-4 paragraphs, but like the best thing of what you might have wrote about a subject that you were touching on, post that up, and maybe they could take that in bite-sized issues, and maybe that could be shared. That's kind of how memes get started. You know what I mean? Like people just make memes out of thinking out loud and putting it next to a picture, and it's taking on a life of its own. Where I work for a label and I work with labels where people is like, yo, we're gonna do a meme campaign. It might sound crazy, but that drives the traffic to the product. So, you know what I mean? It's so many different ways to do it, but we appreciate you, man, for coming on, for real.
Thank you.
Super quick, I have another idea for you because Wayno just made me think of something. So even with those static images, if you were able to like add some audio to it, like the good news for you is we're going into this, what they call an audio renaissance, right? So we as human beings, it's scientifically proven that we learn better audibly than we do visually. Like the brain just picks up things better when we hear it first. And then the secondary way to learn is we see it, right? So definitely, leverage that and tap into that. And when you're putting up those little static clips of your writing, maybe you add, if you're not comfortable with the camera piece, maybe you just start with the audio piece first, where it's you reading your book. I listen to so many audio books and I learn so much better that way. And if you're able to integrate that in any kind of way in your marketing strategy, just to kind of get your work out there so it starts to resonate with people, that could be a really powerful tool for you as well.
And then look, I just want to say something real quick, y'all. One thing I want to add, because this applies to both of y'all. I heard a lot of you guys mention the pandemic, right? Don't let the pandemic like be the reason why you second guess your situation. And I heard a lot of y'all ask about marketing. A lot of y'all really can feed off the fact that it is a pandemic, right? So y'all know, like, it's restaurants out here that got burgers that say 100% beef, but they're genuinely not. But they'll actually go get file paperwork on that quote just so they could lie and tell consumers like it's 100% beef, but their version of 100% beef is not really that. So what I mean is like, hey bro, Jay, you was mentioning the pandemic and how it may affect artists, but bro, you know how much harder to hit if you was like, I sold 10,000 copies independently in the midst of the pandemic, bro. That shit hit way harder, and you actually able to use the trends that's going on right now to your advantage. So like for me, bro, just real quick, in March, bro, that was my best month in business ever. 31 days, I cleared 707 grand. That sound good. But bro, you know how much harder that shit hit when I be like, nigga, it was the middle of a pandemic. We came out that bitch like some straight gorillas and killed the game. Right. So bro, like, don't let these times we dealing with right now stifle your mental or your growth, bro. Actually feed off the bro, go make the Jay's pandemic playlist and feed off that word, bro. That word's so relevant right now, bro. Milk that shit, feed off of it. And all y'all, don't hesitate to attach y'all brands and y'all products to the times. So when Trump getting reelected, I'm coming with the post-Trump pack too. Because I really do. I feel like bro gonna win. So bro, do the same thing. The current times, know how to feed off of them and gas yourself up. Because if we're gonna be honest, bro, that's what a lot of artistry and music is built off of. they gas themselves, and the next thing you know, that moniker stick, and the whole, like, we ain't even got to mention bro name, but his name shouldn't be in the conversation of the king or nothing, but because he keeps saying that nut ass shit, now you got people that's actually debating, is he the king of any fucking thing? You feel me? But it worked.
And I'll say this, you know, ironically, you know, a lot of you guys, y'all may know or not, what we're doing, like what me and Kenya are doing, like this is something that we're building. Like this is not something that's funded by no complex or nobody. We genuinely taking our own time to really build with the people. You know what I'm saying? Like during the pandemic, that's what I said. I'm like, you know what? I've been wanting to do free throws for a long time. Because I'm so busy, I haven't had the time to do it. We're trying to build this, and we're building it with y'all person by person. Everybody that's here this week wasn't here last week. So I'm just starting to see the growth, and we're going to keep emphasizing on it. And, you know, have I done 300,000 views on free throws yet? No, I haven't, but it's going to keep growing. And all I ask is for each and every one of y'all, if y'all felt like y'all learned something, or y'all felt like this was like something that was meaningful, just tell one person. Tell one person, yo, Friday, like next Friday, you should try to get on Wayno's free throws. You know what I mean? Like they doing something over there. That's all I ask from y'all. You know what I mean? And we're gonna build it person by person, brick by brick.
Yeah, man. So, you know, we're just sowing seeds. We're sowing seeds, and we're asking you to help as many people as you can with the information. This is actually the longest free throw that we've done.
You've ever did, right?
I'm so sorry. We did not tell you it was going to be 2 hours, but we appreciate you so much. You are such a good guy. You're one of the most brilliant people that I know. And I knew that from the first time that I met you. And God, you know, I mean, I'm thankful to, you know, that we've connected with you and that you were able to come on here and help everybody, because you're
appreciated. Hey, you know I value y'all in real life. So anytime, just hit me.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man, for real.
So listen, everybody, thank you for tuning into the free throw. We're here every single Friday at 6 o'clock. You can go follow at Wayno's Pop. But before we go, Derrick, tell everybody where they can follow you and how they can get more information about your courses and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything associated with me. I was under my government name is Derrick Grace 2 TWO, because I'm Derrick Grace II. But yeah, my IG, my Twitter, Facebook, down to my website, absolutely everything, DerrickGrace2.com. And like I said, y'all, I focus on 3 main things: the functionality of business, economics, and defense. I like, in short, I like money, guns, and gold. That's my thing. That's what I mean. hey, and being a daddy. Being a daddy,
nothing like it. For real.
All right.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who came into the free throw today. Make sure you share, like, support what we got going on here. It's for y'all. And we will see you the same time next
week. Peace, y'all.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Wayno, follow me, bro. Don't leave me hanging.
Jesus, ending. That's good.